ready for, it's going to be not like don't play it right now, but when he gets to the end.
Same plan as before?
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the arrival of the official party, playing of the national anthem, and the invocation. North Carolina Piedmont region arriving. Fleet forces arriving. Battalion, please face the rear for the national anthem. Midshipman Madewell, would you please deliver us the invocation?
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the calling you have placed on these young men and women as they commission to serve our nation. Grant them wisdom, courage, and integrity, and as they serve with honor and humility. Watch over them and their families as they're guided by faith, service, and love of country. Through Christ our Lord, amen.
Thank you. Please be seated. Honored guests, proud family members, friends, welcome to North Carolina State University's Naval Reserve Officer Training Corps commissioning ceremony. Today, we will be commissioning 9 ensigns into the United States Navy and 4 second lieutenants into the United States Marine Corps. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce the commanding officer of the North Carolina Piedmont Region Consortium, Captain Brian Tanica.
Got a good mic? All right. All right, well, good morning, everyone. Admiral Caudle.
Good morning.
Donna. I think Dr. Stafford in the audience here. I don't see him yet, but welcome to Dr. Stafford as well. Dr. Odell, I think I saw you in the stand. There you are. Thank you, sir. Distinguished guests, families, friends, and most importantly, prospective ensigns and second lieutenants. It's a great Carolina morning here at the Bell Tower, and my honor to stand before you today on this significant occasion. A day marking the end of one journey. No good. A day marking the end of one journey and the beginning of another. A life of service with honor, courage, and commitment. Before we get started, I'd like to just take a quick second to thank the midshipmen and staff who put this event together and have worked hard all year to get us where we are today. For those that don't know, there are a lot of pieces that go into an event like this, and it always seems like no matter how much preparation you put into throughout the year, it's always a sprint at the end to get to May 2nd and to commissioning. And I know the folks sitting in front of me today know that for a fact. I'd like to especially thank Mr. Lee Cox, who's our human resource assistant, who does all of the heavy lifting to get oaths, medical, physicals all complete so that we can enter ensigns and second lieutenants at the peak of their performance. Also want to thank Master Sergeant Barrera and Lieutenant Taylor, who put the finishing touches on the entire ceremony here. So thanks so much. There are a lot of people I could thank for all the hard work that we do throughout the year, but the staff here works incredibly hard to make sure that the midshipmen and second lieutenants, or the midshipmen and Marines here at NC State, are among the best prepared in the nation. All right, today we observe a time-honored Navy tradition. We'll reflect on the transformative journey that brought these men and women, might have to go off script, to the beginning of their naval career, and finally celebrate the bright future of the greatest naval fighting force the world has ever known. The difference between a midshipman and a commissioned officer may not seem like a lot today. Of course, we're going to issue an oath, we're going to change shoulder boards and collar insignia, and promote these men and women as ensigns and second lieutenants. But fundamentally, for the folks sitting in the audience today, you won't see a flash of light. It's not Superman's not going to come out of his phone booth. They won't look much different than they look right here, sitting here this morning, later on this afternoon. In fact, as you look through the requirements for commissioning, we don't even need to be here today. All we need to do is go back to the office and sign the oath and the administrative paperwork necessary to bring you on board in the United States Navy. But Navy tradition compels us to be here, to invite a formal honored guest, and most importantly, to serve cake at the end. All right. However, if you watch and listen to this ceremony closely, you'll see that this event is more than just a change in rank and some cake. It's not just about the uniform. It's about a mindset, a commitment to uphold the values and standards of the United States Navy and Marine Corps. It's about the weight of responsibility that comes with the privilege of leading sailors and Marines and defending the freedoms we all hold dear. It's a profound transformation in their lives they will never forget and never walk away from. One truth about this transformation that I hope you carry with you into the future and into the fleet, a truth that's important to me, and a truth that's represented in this audience and on this stage today is this: leadership is built on personal relationships. Let's begin with some foundational relationships. Your families. Their encouragement, belief in you, and their steady presence through the tough days made this moment possible. Whether it was a call when you needed reassurance, a letter during a dark week, maybe an electronic deposit or two, or the simple faith they placed in you and in your ability to rise. Your families taught you how to stand firm in your conviction, commit to your task, and be confident that you are never alone. What separates the U.S. Navy and Marine Corps from all others across the globe is this network of families, friends, universities, and communities that are 100% behind you all the time, ensuring you have the tools, mental, and moral bandwidth to execute this important mission. Thank you to all the families present and watching here today. In short, your commitment now and, more importantly, moving forward ensures that each of these officers arrive on board their units ready to lead, fight, and win. Second, as you take the oath today, you join a fleet that relies on cohesion among officers and enlisted, across departments, services, nations, and oceans, in every wardroom and work center, every watch station, and ship's passageway. Relationships are what will carry you through rough seas, literally and figuratively. The sea is powerful and unpredictable, but so is the bond between sailors and Marines. In the months and years ahead, you'll be entrusted with lives, missions, and moments that test your judgment and resolve. And in these moments, it won't just be your technical knowledge or rank that will guide you. It will be the relationships you've built, the trust you've earned that will make you effective leaders. In our Navy and Marine Corps, success is not determined solely by our systems and gear. It lives and dies by the strengths of our teams. The strengths of those teams comes from relationships rooted in competence and confidence. First, let's talk about competence. Competence is your foundation. It's what earns respect. It's knowing your craft, understanding your mission, and having the discipline to master the details. When your team sees that you're technically and tactically sound, that you do your homework, and that you care enough to be prepared, they begin to trust in you. Not because of your rank, but because of your credibility. Next is confidence. Confidence is what inspires. It's not arrogance. It's the quiet assurance that you're ready, that you can make decisions under pressure, and that you're not afraid to take responsibility. Confidence is contagious. When your team sees that you believe in yourself and in them, they will go further than you thought they could, and further than they thought they could. One of the most valuable leadership lessons I've learned came from Admiral Caudle, who has had a profound impact on the way I view professional relationships. From him, I learned that relationships in the Navy, the ones that endure, the ones that matter, are built first on competence and confidence. That's the foundation. Over time, as mutual respect grows, those relationships evolve into friendship, into mentorship, and into a kind of trust that transcends job titles. That lesson has stayed with me and continues to shape how I lead today. That same philosophy, that leadership begins with the example you set, is at the core of what will be expected of you as newly commissioned officers. You're not expected to know everything, and as we've discussed, not expected to be perfect. But you are expected to take responsibility, to act with character, to put in the work, to gain the competence your sailors deserve. You're expected to carry yourself with confidence, not to impress, but to reassure. Your people will look to you not just for orders, but for stability, fairness, and purpose. And whether you're in the wardroom, the field, or the engine room, you'll earn their respect by how you lead and how you treat them. In other words, honor, courage, and commitment. Today you will stand as commissioned officer, committed to an oath and charged with the duty to lead, inspire, and serve every day, in and out of uniform. You are about to step into one of the most meaningful roles a person can hold, that of a leader entrusted with lives, morale, and success of sailors and Marines in the greatest naval fighting force the world has ever known. That trust must be earned daily. Lead with competence. Speak and act with confidence. And always, always invest in your people. Fair winds and following seas on your journey. May your leadership reflect the values learned here at North Carolina State, and may you carry Wolfpack pride and confidence in the service of our great Navy and nation. Best example of this, the strength of the pack is the wolf. and the strength of the wolf, the pack. God bless you and congratulations. It's been an honor to be your commanding officer the last few years, and I look forward to seeing you in our great Navy and Marine Corps. It's now my honor to introduce our guest of honor, a man who I consider a leader, a mentor, and a friend. A person who loves his country, the Navy, and North Carolina State. Admiral Caudle is a native of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, a 1985 graduate of NC State, and is the current commander of United States Fleet Forces Command in Norfolk, Virginia. He concurrently serves as Commander, Naval Forces Northern Command, and Commander, Naval Forces Strategic Command. He organizes, trains, equips, certifies, and employs over 125 ships and submarines, 1,000 aircraft, 125,000 sailors and government employees, and executes an annual budget of over $17 billion. In other words, the Navy rests on this man's shoulders, and the Navy is in good hands. Trust me, I know. During his past assignments, we worked together in Submarine Forces, Submarine Force Atlantic, Task Force 114, and Task Force 88 and 46, and Commander Allied Submarine Command. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a true honor to have my friend and a great naval leader here with us today, Admiral Caudle. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you. All right, Brian, you didn't tell me I was going to have to walk and chew gum up here at the podium. This is, you guys hear me okay? Am I coming in loud and clear? It's good. Nothing worse than being in something you can't hear the speaker. So thank you, Brian. I really appreciate it. And good morning, Piedmont Consortium veterans, family, and friends, and soon-to-be newly commissioned officers. I am absolutely thrilled to be back at my alma mater and honored to join you for what is a very special day for our Navy and Marine Corps, and of course Memorial Day as you start a career in dedicated service to our nation. As my first order of business, I'd like to recognize the staff of the North Carolina Piedmont Consortium in ROTC. Your collective guidance and mentorship are critical to the professional development of our future military leaders. Thank you for your commitment to excellence. Let's give them a round of applause, please. It is not often that I get to make a pilgrimage back to my college, and it is an absolute pleasure to be here as we mark and highlight this important transition in the personal and professional lives of the outstanding individuals before us today. Those who are on the verge of joining an elite force of commissioned officers as members of America's Naval Maritime Services. This is a significant day for all of you. It's a proud day. You've worked hard. You've overcome many challenges in your journey so far. The fact that you're here today celebrating this special event is a remarkable achievement into itself, but make no mistake, the real work starts today. Almost 40 years ago, when I stood in your shoes right here on this campus, the world was a very different place. One in which the United States faced only one superpower, followed by the collapse of the Soviet Union, and resulted in a peace dividend. Our security environment refocused on regional, transactional, transnational, and violent extremists rather than global threats. Our strategy refocused in response, emphasizing littoral warfare and maneuver and support from the sea. Today, however, the world has changed yet again. We now face a competitor seeking to overwrite the rules international order in the Pacific and beyond. The PRC's naval force is growing even larger, and we must pace this challenge while we simultaneously deter multiple threats around the globe. And make no mistake, the seas have once again emerged as the primary focal point in that peer competition. The future of America's security and prosperity will be determined by our ability to dominate and project power from the maritime domain. Let's be clear. Today's security environment is increasingly competitive, faster paced, and more complex than even 4 short years ago. And so we are aggressively modernizing our Navy and building readiness to address today's global threats. We are building new capabilities, shifting capacity in our fleet to meet the needs of long-term strategic competition while ensuring we are ready to fight at a moment's notice. We can no longer wake up hoping that tomorrow looks like yesterday. We recognize the need to transform, to make hard decisions, to prioritize what matters, and to shed legacy processes as we innovate toward a new force structure by setting the highest expectations with uncompromising standards. We're doing this with a sense of urgency and newfound purpose to prepare for that unknown future, which means simply you're joining the Officer Corps at an incredibly exciting time and perhaps the most consequential time in several decades. As you embark on your careers as officers, the nation will depend upon you to quickly assimilate into your new assignments and immediately contribute to delivering integrated, all-domain naval power focused on our core missions of sea control and power projection, and to maintain a clear-eyed resolve to compete, deter, and win today. We cannot afford to wait until the first salvos are fired in peer conflict to be ready to dominate from the sea. The teams you're joining are elite, and they're laser focused on absolute maritime lethality. The camaraderie we share amongst those in the sea services is born from the fact that we are bound together by our mutual respect and awe for the sea, the very lifeblood of our planet. In that we draw our most sacred commitment, the defense of our nation. In a moment you will take an oath, committing yourself to the protection and defense of our nation's most sacred ideal, our Constitution. And the moment you take this oath, you'll realize the weight and obligations of your new commission are immense and unyielding, but also immensely gratifying. One of the great leaders in our Navy, Admiral Hyman G. Rickover, once said, "Responsibility is a unique concept. You may share it with others, but your portion is not diminished. You may delegate it, but it is still with you. If your responsibility is rightly yours, no evasion or ignorance or passing the blame can shift the burden to someone else." Personal accountability and responsibility, ownership for all that you do and everything you are part of at home and on station is what defines our character. It's what defines us as leaders. Before you know it, you will be leading others, our nation's finest sailors and Marines, who will be looking up to you for guidance and direction. And the leadership transformation of putting your team before yourself, of standing out there and being an example for everybody, depends on having strong character, the essence of our Navy and Marine Corps enduring values. We not only make our sailors and Marines aware of these values through repetitive reminders in all that we do, but we also make sure that their behaviors and their character are consistent with those values as well. To behave with integrity, to behave with loyalty, and to behave with the highest levels of professionalism. We want our sailors and Marines to show initiative, be creative, take risk, and at the end of the day, be tough with grit and tenacity, to have the fortitude to take a punch from any adversary and to resiliently stand up and return to the fight and deliver victory. You will be challenged. Your intellect will be tested. Your character will be tested. You're going to get tired. There will be times when you don't have all the information you need. And it's going to be those times when your training, experience, and judgment will be needed to solve complex and often high-risk problems far from the comfort of your home. I'll guarantee you that all you do, of all the things you will do, you will make mistakes going forward. It's not a matter of if, it's only a matter of when. However, it will be those times when you grow the most as a leader and a warrior. In the face of these inevitable and exacting professional demands, you will face numerous personal challenges as well. You will spend time away from family and friends. You will endure long days in austere conditions. But even more important, you will also experience countless days, marked by a sense of supreme accomplishment, unparalleled esprit de corps, and pure personal enjoyment. Most importantly, you will earn the personal and professional satisfaction that results from knowing your efforts make a difference in maintaining our way of life, of protecting our American dream and our values. There are 341 million people in the United States who depend on the military to protect their way of life, and less than 0.5% of the U.S. population is currently serving in uniform. The simple fact is you are here, ready to commission, ready to serve your country, ready to make a difference, and that is what sets you apart. You know that the nation, the Navy and Marine Corps can count on you to rise to the challenges ahead, lead our sailors and Marines, not only day to day, but in victory in combat, should our nation ask that of you. As we recognize your accomplishment that got you here today, we should be ever mindful, while this is a very important milestone, it's just the beginning of something much bigger. Regardless of which warfare community you're joining, you must never stop learning. Commit yourself to mastering your craft, which includes professional acumen, expertise, stewardship, followership, ownership as lifelong learners. In closing, and speaking from personal experience, as the years pass and memories fade, it's doubtful you'll remember much of what I've said today. Let's just be honest. But if anything, remember this, and let me foot stomp the words of Fleet Admiral Bull Halsey. There are no extraordinary people, just extraordinary circumstances that ordinary people are forced to deal with. That's where you come in. That's where you will shine. It is up to you to be bold enough to leverage those extraordinary circumstances, to bring out the extraordinary talent of your sailors and Marines you will lead, and find victory in the trials and tribulations you'll face together as a team. After you leave this ceremony and before you report to your first assignment as an officer, take time to think about the type of leader you'll be. And as you progress day to day, tour by tour, year by year, you'll continue to grow, impact many lives, and experience what I have found to be the most rewarding and satisfying profession in our great nation. So to each of you soon-to-be officers, congratulations. I wish the very best, and I look forward to serving with you. Most importantly, I look forward to seeing you shape the future of our elite fighting force. And finally, thank you to all the hosts and guests today, the great families and many friends and supporters here to celebrate this special day with you. I offer my sincere thanks for all you do and for your continued support of our Navy and Marine Corps. All right, I've talked enough. It's time to get busy. Let's get the most important part of this ceremony underway. May God bless you all. May God bless our nation, our Navy, and the Marine Corps, and may God continue to bless these United States. Thank you.
Thank you, Admiral Cottle. The oath that all military officers take is a combination of constitutional requirements, historical influence, and centuries-old customs, with an overarching purpose to bind the commissionee to service. The oath of office will be administered to all by Admiral Cottle. Ladies and gentlemen, we encourage you to take pictures of the oath, but please hold your applause till the end. Battalion, attention to the oath.
Raise your right hand, repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. That I take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion. And that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which I'm about to enter. So help me God. Congratulations.
At East Battalion, please be seated. The newly commissioned ensigns and second lieutenants will now be presented with their officer covers and insignia. Commissionees will be called up in groups of 3. Please hold your applause until the end. Following the exchange of insignia, the newly commissioned officers will participate in the silver dollar salute tradition. Each new officer will be awarded their first salute as Naval and Marine Corps officers, and in return, the enlisted member is traditionally presented with a silver dollar, signifying the deep respect the new officer has for the non-commissioned officers who have helped train them. Gregory Belvin, Jack Biggs, Alexis Carnelli. Presenting Ensign Belvin with his cover and new insignia are his mother, Kimberly Belvin, and his grandfather, Bill Belvin. Ensign Gregory Belvin is from Dameron, Maryland, and is graduating with a Bachelor's of Science in Aerospace Engineering. He will report to flight school in Pensacola, Florida, as an officer in training to become a naval aviator. Presenting Ensign Biggs with his cover and new insignia are his mother and father, Elizabeth and David Biggs, and his sister, Scout Biggs. Ensign Jack Biggs is from Raleigh, North Carolina, and is graduating with a Bachelor's of Science in Biological and Agricultural Engineering Technology. He will report to Strike Group Oceanography Team San Diego at Naval Station San Diego, California, to start training as a meteorology and oceanography officer. Presenting Ensign Carnelli with her cover and new insignias are her father, Josh Carnelli, mother, Christina Carnelli, and brother, Jackson Carnelli. Ensign Alexis Carnelli is from Hampstead, North Carolina, and is graduating with a Bachelor's of Science in Biological Sciences, Human Biology concentration. She will report to the USS Porter, DDG 87, out of Norfolk, Virginia. Ensign Belvin will be given his first salute by Officer Candidate Brandon Sweat. Ensign Biggs will be given his first salute by Officer Candidate Brandon Sweat. Ensign Carnelli will be given her first salute by Petty Officer 3rd Class Michael Parle. Round of applause for those 3. Allison Kleindens, Tavia Copening, Jesse Facito. Presenting Ensign Kleindness with her cover and new insignia are her mother, Heather Kleindness, and her father, Donnie Kleindness, her brothers, Caleb and Colton Kleindness. Ensign Allison Kleindness is from Crozet, Virginia, and is graduating with a Bachelor's of Science in Chemical Engineering. She will report to flight school in Pensacola, Florida, as an officer in training to become a naval flight officer. Presenting Ensign Copening with her cover and new insignias are her mother, Sonia Copening, and her sisters, Tashian Copening and Taryn Pulley. Ensign Tavia Copening is from Greensboro, North Carolina, and is graduating with a Bachelor's of Art in English, Writing, and Rhetoric. She will report to the USS Russell, DDG 59, out of San Diego, California. Presenting Ensign Facito with his cover and new insignia are his brother, Jacob Facito, and his girlfriend, Mallory Bates. Ensign Facito is from Wolcott, Connecticut, and is graduating with a Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering. He will report to Naval Nuclear Power School in Goose Creek, South Carolina, as an officer in training for submarine warfare. Ensign Kleindienst's first salute will be given by retired U.S. Army Staff Sergeant Colin Thomas. Ensign Koepening will be given her first salute by retired U.S. Army Specialist Robert Koepening. Ensign Facito will be given his first salute by retired U.S. Navy Master Chief Petty Officer Jamie Facito. Round of applause. Dakota Gray, Brooke Hermes, James Lambert. Presenting Second Lieutenant Gray with his cover and new insignia are his mother and father, Jeannie and Jeremy Gray, and his brother Landon Gray. Second Lieutenant Dakota Gray is from Newport, North Carolina, and is graduating with a Bachelor's of Science in Economics with a minor in Business Administration. He will report to the basic school in Quantico, Virginia this fall. Presenting Second Lieutenant Hermes with her cover and new insignia are her mother, Jody Hermes, her father, Kurt Hermes, and her boyfriend, Shane Castor. Second Lieutenant Brooke Hermes is from Maple Park, Illinois, and is graduating with a Bachelor's of Science in Nutrition with a minor in Exercise Science. She will report to the basic school in Quantico, Virginia this fall. Presenting Ensign Lambert with his cover and new insignia are his wife, Paige Lambert, and his father, Andrew Lambert. Ensign James Lambert is from Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, and is graduating with a Bachelor's of Science in Electrical Engineering. He will report to the Naval Nuclear Power School in Goose Creek, South Carolina, as an officer in training for submarine warfare. Second Lieutenant Gray will be given his first salute by Staff Sergeant Dylan Tyler, U.S. Marine Corps. Second Lieutenant Hermes will be given her first salute by Staff Sergeant Jared Benson, U.S. Marine Corps. Ensign Lambert will be given his first salute by Chief Petty Officer Jonathan Albright. And a round of applause. Connor Madewell, Sarah Melby, Jacob Scott, Alexander Spence. Presenting Ensign Madewell with his cover and new insignia are his father, Andrew Madewell, and his mother, Suzanne Madewell. Ensign Connor Madewell is from Charlotte, North Carolina, and is graduating with a Bachelor of Arts in Political Science with a minor in International Studies. He will report to flight school in Pensacola, Florida, as an officer in training to become a student naval aviator. Presenting Second Lieutenant Melby with her cover and new insignia are her mother, Lucille Melby, and her father, Robert Melby. Second Lieutenant Sarah Melby is from Newport, North Carolina, and is graduating with a Bachelor's of Science in Mathematics with a minor in Naval Science. She will report to the basic school in Quantico, Virginia this fall. Presenting Ensign Scott with his cover and new insignia are his parents, Angelica and Chris Scott, and his fiancée, Paulina Pina Boardman. Ensign Jacob Scott is from Denver, North Carolina, and is graduating with a Bachelor's of Science in Mechanical Engineering with a minor in Naval Science. He will report to flight school in Pensacola, Florida, as an officer training to become a naval aviator. Presenting Second Lieutenant Spence with his cover and new insignia are his father, Albert Spence, daughter, Amari Spence, and his son, Alexander Spence, Jr. Second Lieutenant Alexander Spence is from Baltimore, Maryland, and is graduating with a Bachelor of Science in Business Administration. He will report to the basic school in Quantico, Virginia this fall.
Let's go, Spence.
Ensign Connor Madewell will be given his first salute by Sergeant Jared Wilson, U.S. Marine Corps. Second Lieutenant Melby will be given her first salute by U.S. Army veteran DeWitt Page. Ensign Scott will be given his first salute by Petty Officer First Class Francisco Brorson. Second Lieutenant Spence will be given his first salute by his wife, Gunnery Sergeant Maisha Spence, United States Marine Corps. Please join me in another round of applause for all of our second lieutenants and ensigns. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the playing of Anchors Aweigh, the Marines Hymn, and the departure of the official party. Anchors aweigh, farewell. Fleet Forces, departing. North Carolina, Piedmont Region, departing. Congratulations to our nation's newest military officers. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our ceremony. Thank you for your attendance, and we invite you all to join us in some light snacks, cake, and refreshments.